Hi, it's Savannah Ogwin from Savannah Land 2. Today I'd like to share with you how to create some party hats using paper, smooches, stamp sets, and dies. Last Sunday was Olson's 5th birthday, so of course I had to get him together with his furry best friends for a celebration. And I'm so glad that he doesn't mind wearing these hats. And the best part about these hats is that you can create them for just about anyone, at any age, and for any occasion. Now to create a party hat, you're going to need a couple of supplies, starting with a hat template. I found mine on the Oh Happy Day website. I will link to this site and the page in the YouTube description of this video, as well as the Virtual Smooches blog post. You're also going to need cardstock and pattern paper, double-sided tape, elastic string that's cut to about 13 inches, eyelets, eyelet setting tool, a craft knife, scoring tool, ruler, and other basic supplies, as well as your paper smooches, stamp sets, and dies. Now for this hat, I used the Woofers and Tweeters stamp set, as well as the coordinating dies, and then I also used the paper smooches ovals, digits, and numbers dies. Let's get started. First, you need to print your template. Cut and then trace it on your cardstock or pattern paper. But you can also just print the template right on your pattern paper that you're going to use. I found that was the easiest. Once you do that, you're going to take your scissors and cut along this solid line. You're also going to cut into this line, and then take your craft knife and make a slit along this line. Now I have a tip for you. I've already cut one of these out, and I've also created my slit. And I said that you would only cut up to the end of these lines. But what I like to do is take my scissors and extend it just a little bit so that it's easier to fit it through the slit. Now that we've created our hat template, we're going to add our fringe. I am really into adding fringe onto my projects lately, and I wish I had a Martha Stewart fringe scissor, but I create fringe the old-fashioned way. And how I did that was I took a scrap piece of paper, cut it to about 1 inch wide, scored it, and then folded it in half, and then I take my scissors and create little slits all the way down my paper. Now make sure that you don't cut all the way to the fold, because then you will lose everything that you've just created. To attach your fringe to your hat, all you're going to do is take double-sided tape and place it around the curve and then layer your fringe on top of that. I used a double layer of fringe, and then I stitched along that center line for a secure hold. Now because the sewing machine is loud and large, I skipped that for the video. Next, what you're going to want to do is apply some double-sided tape to the top and bottom of this side, as well as the insert tab over here. Now another tip is that I like to run my paper piercer underneath the backing and the tape so that it's easier for me to remove later. So it's already detaching from the tape a little bit. Now we're ready to create our hat. And because this is a stiff or thicker piece of paper, I like to run my fingers along the curve on the top and bottom so that it folds easier. So in order to make this hat, what you're going to do is insert this tab into this slit. So you fold them over, and this is where this extra cut is going to help out. You fold this over and insert your tab from the bottom. And then you slide your tab over and then push up until your bottom ends are level. Now because of this fringe, it's a little crooked, but that's okay. You just flatten it out and then realign. And once I have my hat where I want it, I take a mini stapler and I staple it right in place. That's if I have staples. Okay, let's try this again. So now that I've inserted my tab and I've got my bottom lined up exactly where I want it, all I do is I staple with a mini staple at the bottom. And now this is where I remove my double-sided tape. Now this is very tricky, so I'm going to attempt it on video. And as I go, I like to push down where my tape is at. And that looks really nice. And then I have one in the center. I push him down. And then I have one on the inside right here. Doesn't seem like I'm going to be able to get him, so we'll just leave him. And then I push from the inside right on that seam. If you look inside there, you can also place some clear tape down this seam for a secure hold. And that's the base of the hat. Now we need to attach our eyelets and our string. What I like to do is pinch the sides so I can get a nice hole on the side. On each side. And then what I do is I take my string and I run it through from the back and catch it with my eyelet. That will secure the elastic in place. And then I set my eyelet. See, it's secure. Now we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Run it through the back, and then catch it with our eyelet. And just check it. Perfect. And then I cut off the excess. Now this is the base of the hat, and now it's time to embellish it. Let me bring over Olson's one more time, and I'll set it up so that you can see it. For this, all I did was I took two of the ovals and I matte a base, and then I die cut a streamer banner, and I stamped it as well with the matching stamp set. And then from the digits stamp set, I stamped the sediment and also die cut coordinating number 5s for this up here. The dog looked like Olson from the Woofers and Tweeters set, this little guy. And so I fussy cut him and then placed him on a die cut background. Now this hat that I've created right now is for Olson's best friend Leroy. He's a golden doodle, and so I think that this puppy image looks like him the most. So for his embellishment, I did the exact same thing. I took two ovals, matted them together, and then I stamped a background using the puppy paw print. I've attached it using some foam in the center only because I know it won't attach around a curve. I'm going to place that down. And then I die cut this little puppy. I also used fussy cutting for the main image. And instead of a bow, since Leroy's a boy, I've created a party hat just like the one he's going to wear. I've got foam dots on the back as well, and I'll attach it to the base. Right in the center. And that's it. Now they're ready to party. Now I hope that you will create your own party hats for your next party and gathering. Please leave a comment below with a link to your creation or your project. I'd love to check it out. Thanks so much for watching.